So, thanks for joining Jeremy Pop and Cooking. I'm really excited and pleased to introduce everyone to TJ Robinson from the Fresh Press Olive Oil Club. These guys sent me some olive oil a couple months ago and it blew me away. And we decided to start doing some projects together. And they've sent three incredible new products, and we're going to go through them today. And TJ's going to tell us all about his company and why he's so passionate about olive oil. TJ, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. I look for all the educational moments that we can have together. So thank you for helping me get the word out about the power of fresh pressed olive oil, how different it is from store bought olive oil that people are used to consuming, and the reasons why for flavor and for health that you've got to start using this in your kitchen. So thank you so much for letting me share that today.
My pleasure. Flavor and health, that should connect really well with my audience.
Awesome.
I try to do my best to create healthy recipes for
Yes.
my audience. I had
Yes.
this cucumber video go crazy, viral like last week or over the last 3 weeks. And I realized, okay, my audience likes salads and healthy videos. So I got to start making a lot more. So the timing couldn't be better for me to sort of present this option of a
Awesome.
great olive oil to bring to their kitchen. So tell me like you and I have been talking for a bit here. How did you get started in this?
Well,
How did TJ become the olive oil guy?
yes. So I was a professional chef. I lived and worked in and went to culinary school in Asheville, North Carolina. So I'm a Southern boy. I love Southern cooking. I grew up on my family farm. I grew up in around the kitchen with my grandmothers, my mom, and for me, it was just I had a great culinary background. I understood, for example, what fresh pressed apple cider tasted like
Right.
versus the apple juice in the juice box. Like I understood that growing up, going to the farm, etc. I did not know that about olive oil. So I'll give you a little bit about the history. And I didn't know that something as amazing as fresh pressed olive oil had been kept from me for the first 20 some years of my life. And the first time I tasted it pissed me off so royally that I had to make this my life mission. So anyway, I'll bring you back up to where that happened in a few moments. But growing up in Asheville, I worked for the Biltmore Estate. I was the chef of the winery there up until I was about 22. I got drafted to work for the Food Network and the Today Show, which I
Oh,
did for
wow.
about 9 years as a food, wine, and travel journalist. Absolutely loved it. One of the press junkets I was on took me to Sicily, and I got to hang out with the Sicilian family for the day. And this is right at harvest time, which in the Mediterranean, all around the Mediterranean, people freak out around olive harvest time. These olive trees are like their heritage, their medicine, their, legacy of their great, great, great grandparents. I mean, this is a big deal. And they get together as a family and they harvest and then they take it to the local mill. So I got to hang out with Matteo and his family for the weekend. And I learned that olives are fruit. I learned that they had to be processed really quickly from the moment you get them off the tree to the time they're pressed. It makes a massive difference in the quality and flavor in the oil. And I learned all about that sense of community. So that day we worked in the orchard, we picked all the olive fruit. There are 550 olive varieties
I'm
in
already
Italy
jealous.
alone. Think about apples, right? We know in the US, we know a clear difference between a Granny Smith apple and Golden Delicious, where in the Mediterranean, there are 550 olive varieties just in Italy alone. So, all these individual olive fruit have individual flavors and profiles, levels of bitterness, levels of spiciness, levels of fruitiness. So, anyway, I discovered a whole new world that I thought, as a great, chef from America, I should know all about this, right? Well, I didn't realize that we were the dumping ground for crappy olive oil in America. I started this club back in 2004. That was my first time tasting fresh oil. And we went to the mill and I had a chance to wait in line with the family there where we tasted, where we waited in line with our bins of fruit to be pressed. We loaded them in the back of this little, look kind of like a Volkswagen Rabbit. Called a
Yeah.
Fiat Honda. There you stuff them in there and you drive off to the mill. They're heavy Italian smokers, everywhere. I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna be smoked olive oil. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, we arrive at the mill, we wait in line, and this is like a community thing. So everybody's there, they're meeting their cousins and they're talking to their family. And this is they've been doing this for generations. So, most of these people went to these mills when they were kids, and now they're bringing their kids there and grandkids. So it's a really cool, special time that we don't really know about in America. It's not this style of oil is called olio novello, or olio nuovo in
Okay.
Spanish. And this style of oil is very, very special. The antioxidants and the polyphenols in this oil deplete by 50% in the first 6 months after pressing. Most olive oil in America is old. It's not, it's shipped here slow boat, from bottlers, etc. We
Right.
can go down that rabbit hole in a few minutes. But I stepped up to the mill with Mateo. He handed me a glass, something like this, and he said, be prepared for this oil. It's probably different than what you're used to in America, because he had visited the US and he couldn't believe how crappy the oil was here. And I step up, I put my nose in the glass, and I was like, holy crud, that's like wheatgrass and rosemary and like all this stuff that I was like, this is amazing. And I took a taste. He's like, be careful, it's spicy. And I was like, spicy? My Bertolli back at home, or whatever I was consuming, back in the early 2000s, I was not spicy. I'll tell you that. So anyway, it really just lit a fire under me, and I found a way to get it to America. My friends loved it. They wanted more. So then I found a way, of course, to get it here by jet. And then I found a way to get it out of the Southern hemisphere. So anyway, a lot to unpack there, but that's
Yeah.
the quick story of how I became the olive
I
oil
I
hunter.
love stories like that where it just starts off from a wow moment, whether it's spicy olive oil or just the splendor of being in Sicily. Um, it's just you can fall in love. I have the same sort of love relationship with tomatoes. Every August here, I spend
Uh,
weeks of my life, jarring about 11 bushels of tomatoes, and it's just I get to pretend I'm like I'm in Italy. It's
I,
Toronto. It's hot as heck here in the summer, and we're just like I'm in the backyard. The hose is running. It's just it's
I
these things.
love it. I
They
love
bite you that one time, and that's it. You're hooked. And the fact that
your
you
hook.
like, I'm so impressed that you took that one of those moments
Yeah,
and you said, "This is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm going
this is it.
bringing this to
This is it.
America, and I'm just gonna get people healthier and eating better." And I
Well,
love it.
the funny thing is, I started out purely as a chef, right? So for me, I was only in it for the culinary aspirations. I was like, and this was about 2004. So what's happened in the Mediterranean? I mean, they've always known it's a healthy product. They've always used it as a food, as a medicine. I mean, this amazing, tree that we have in the Mediterranean that has very special powers. And it has been used through forever. There's a great book called Extra Virginity by Tom Mueller that follows extra virgin olive oil and the slippery business of olive oil back to Roman times. He also wrote a great article in the New Yorker that kind of like lit this whole thing about a fire under fraud in olive oil called the slippery business of olive oil. And then 60 Minutes has done, research. So people are seeking high quality olive oil, but the way the system is built, it's a commodity built system. And
Yep.
what we buy at the supermarket is mostly commodity quality level olive oil. And what people don't realize is there's a whole nother world out there. It's kind of like going from Folgers, or I don't know, name one of the other, like Maxwell House,
Yeah.
to like a local micro roaster of coffee. Like it's
Great,
just like,
great example.
t-
I wandered into this coffee shop a decade ago, or more so than now, called Moonbeam in Kensington Market in Toronto, and they had this roaster set up there, and I'm like, "Well, that's odd. Is that just for show?" And, the next time I was in there, they was like, "Good saw it going," and the guy
yeah,
saw me, comes over and gave me a cup of coffee, and I'm like, "This is the best coffee I've ever had." He goes, "Yeah, because I roasted it this morning."
that's
Because
right.
none of the beans in my place are older than 36 hours. He goes,
That's
yeah,
insane. I
and
love it. I love it.
it's
I love
absolutely fantastic, and it just changed my, and even when, I'm just out and about, I had to go grab some more coffee. It's obvious it's not the same thing, and
That's right.
I'm learning that with olive oil. Like, it's as much as I'm not a chef, but I've been a cook for a long time, and you said something a little earlier saying that your buddy goes, careful, it's spicy. And the first time I had a really good olive oil, I'm like, there's like notes and layers to this. And yeah, it's spicy and it hits you. And
Yes, yes.
I'm like, I'm not used to this. And this is incredible. And then you start to realize the differences. I can use this as sort of a workhorse and I'm cooking with it. This is in a salad, it's finishing. This one I drizzle over pizzas after they come out of the oven. And it's a whole world. It's
It's
and
a whole world, and it's so fun to geek out on. Like, I am a total olive oil geek.
yeah.
I used to be a saucier as a chef,
Oh
and
wow.
for me, olive oil is a sauce, or can be if it's at the pinnacle of olive oil, which is what we're talking about here. It can be a sauce that Mother Nature made for you. So I use my
Very nice.
saucier hat when I visit farms, and I actually make the olive oil for the club. So I make a mild, a medium, and bold olive oil for the club that I deliver every quarter by jet from country of origin right at harvest time. And
Wow.
there's no middleman. I'm the single link, and I'm the crazy single link right in the middle of the chain between the family farmer around the world and my club members' table.
So
And
this okay, so this is you're tying it all together for me. So you had mentioned that olive oil, like in the first 6 months, you got to consume it. It's a bit the
yes,
fresher it is, the better it is. When
thousand
you
percent.
claim you're doing quarterly deliveries, so if they, if people join the fresh olive oil club
Yep.
as a member, TJ's so crazy. He's bringing in fresh olive oil on a jet every
Yep.
quarter. You are definitely going to be consuming it in that 6 month window. That's a
Correct.
good
You
investment to make.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it becomes the backbone of your healthy cooking. And speaking of healthy cooking, so in the Mediterranean, and when I started the club, I mentioned it was purely for food. I was a gourmet at that
Yeah.
time. And the science of olive oil, all the universities in the Mediterranean started studying the health benefits of olive oil. And they've been doing it all along, but it's the science has really caught up since, and created this tidal wave of incredible health benefits of olive oil. What they've discovered are these compounds called polyphenols. These are the antioxidants, the
Yes. Talk
plant
more about that.
sterols.
Yeah.
And these plant sterols are actually this bitterness you taste in the oil. And how you get those bitter compounds and that spiciness is from early harvest fruit. So olives are green fruit. They start green on the tree. And as they ripen, and when they're green, they have very little oil inside, 7 to 10%. As they start to ripen, the longer they hang on the tree, they go to black. And as they get black, fully ripe, at that point, they could have up to 20 to 20 some percent oil inside. So if you were a producer of olive oil selling oil by the liter, and the fruit, you can't get them off the tree as easily when they're
Right.
green. They're really hard to pull. And two, to shake off the tree. And two, your harvest cost, and you get a lot more oil. You just let it hang on the tree an extra month and you get like double the amount of oil. So if you're selling olive oil to the commodity market, which is
Right.
most 90 some percent of olive oil out there, what are these producers supposed to do? That's
I
what they do. It's a
cannot harvest.
commodity.
As a businessman, I'm sure we get that. There's a use case scenario where that makes sense. Like if you're
Yeah,
you're in the commodity business and that's your business, great. But um
exactly.
it's I get how do they get the greener olives off the tree without harming the tree?
So basically, what they do, I like to call it a magic window. And that's my goal, is to be there a magic window time. So it's about, and it really depends on the weather, how much drought they've had. Really, they're these producers, and let's talk a little bit about the producers that I work
Yeah.
with, just so you can under frame a little bit on how geeky these guys and women are. So in Italy, there's a guide called the Flos Ole olive oil guide. So Flos Ole is a international guide with about 500 producers, ranking the top 500 producers in the world. There's another one that would be like a wine guide. There's another one in Spain, EVOO, they're an olive oil guide. And these guides have competitions every year for all the people listed in the guide. They send in olive oil samples of the year, and they pick a top 20 every year. So Flo Sole has a Flo Sole top 20. Well, if I look back, and these are the pinnacle of the top producers, top 20 in the world. And if I look back at my olive oil collection
Yeah.
Just from this quarter, two of these producers are Flow Soleil top 20 winners
Wow.
in the last couple of years. So I'm
I'm sitting
part
right here. I'm excited now.
hey, I'm part olive oil sommelier and I'm part concierge. So I go there, I create these blends using my chef palette. I get access to the best because I've grown with most of these producers. I've been working with them for over 20 years. And people are just starting to get caught on to this. I have a couple quotes. One from the Wall Street Journal said, "Don't sleep on this game changing ingredient. When it comes to olive oil, the younger the better. Vibrant, flavorful oleo nuovo is a pantry pick me up you should purchase pronto." So that's talking about fresh oil, fresh olive oil. And the New York Times went on to say, in their article, "The world of olive oil is murky. Here's help for the home cook. Don't try to parse every word on the label. The keys to good flavor are seeking out the freshest oil and using it generously. Olive oil should be poured lavishly and used up quickly. Experts say that freshness, more than color or price, place of origin, determines its quality." So it's all about freshness. I mean, and that's really preserving all of those antioxidants and polyphenols. So people are catching on. I've been beating this drum since 2004 about fresh is best. Now you see a lot of, Instagram ads and Facebook ads like fresh olive oil. Well, if you really look into it, if you look at harvest date, if you they only harvest olives one time a year. So if you're buying oil from the Mediterranean in November, most likely it's from a year earlier and then, arrived there by boat. Not the best. So I'm happy to talk shopping tips with you as well on if you're going to, have to venture your way out there to finding it at retail. I can give you some shopping tips for your folks, but the best way to do is organize your palate to understand exactly what to look for. Because again, we know how to do that with fresh pressed apple cider, but as Americans, because we don't grow many olives in the States, about 10%, less than 10% of what we consume in the US, we actually produce here. And
Yeah.
and so we need to know how to taste and identify what really great olive oil is. And a lot of people don't know.
So that's a great point, and you just sort of you circled something for me. You as a olive oil sommelier, um, when you go out for a great meal, and
Yes.
you're like, a big meal, right? Linen
Yes.
service, you're gonna,
Yes.
you're gonna have a night. Then
Mhm.
you're waving that sommelier over to help you pick the wine out.
Yes.
That's part of the experience. Like you don't want to just order the house red or whatever, and like that sommelier is going to know how to pair that with whatever dining choices you made. This is
Absolutely.
like having your own olive oil sommelier for yourself.
It-
And like, yeah, so you're going to turn me into a better olive oil consumer. I'm going to know more. And even if I'm a member of the club and I'm still going to the grocery store in between my shipments,
Yep.
I'm now going to be better at that. Like my brother's a sommelier and he's like, I know how to go and pick out wine at the LCBO now. It's a lot easier for me because he's taught me about wine. Like when I'm out with him, I just stand back. He knows how to do it.
That's
So
right.
kind of the same thing when these boxes show up. TJ's got me. I got the right olive oil, but I'm also going to learn a lot, and I'm going to know how to buy olive oil far better when I go to the grocery store. And so, like,
Perfect.
what are the things that they would look for? Let's just go through like
Sure.
let's see,
Dark.
like there's a really popular brand out there that's all like squeeze bottles, and is there
Ooh,
a
for
different
health.
thing? I can tell by the look on your face
Yeah.
already.
No, let me
For
tell you.
I stay away from plastic as often as possible. I'm not a big plastic fan. Like these
Yes.
bottles are dark.
Beautiful glass that
Yes.
keeps light. So light olive oil is photosensitive. So one
Right.
thing about the plastic bottles, they do keep the light out. Unfortunately, oil breaks down plastic. So
Yeah.
imagine having a squeeze bottle over a hot flame, drizzling over your saute pan with the hot, heating the plastic, and just imagine that it's petroleum based. It's flowing back and forth between the olive oil and the plastic. It is not
Yeah, so I
good if you're
understand
in
like
it.
taking this, like if you had to, and you like put some olive oil into a squeeze bottle, if you're going to be doing a bunch of stuff and you want it to be easy, but you're
For
going to go
sure.
through whatever's in the squeeze bottle that day. So
For
it's
sure.
not its
For
new
sure.
home. It's just
For
it's a temporary vessel.
a thousand
Okay, so
percent, or
that's
use it,
I'm
prove it, or
happy
use
that I
it, prove
wasn't
it.
wrong there. That
No,
plastic
no,
is an
no.
enemy. Yeah.
Look, yeah, and look, that the oil you're talking about is a a decent quality oil. It's good,
Yep.
better, best. It's definitely a good quality oil. That's a but I am concerned about the plastic. I don't personally consume olive oil and plastic. Now the glass bottle is important, dark glass, because olive oil is photosensitive. Always look for a harvest date. You want to see a harvest date. Don't look for expiration date, because expiration dates have to do with when they put it in the bottle and have nothing to do when it was actually harvested. So
So,
always look at harvest date.
um, I read that in the first batch of information you guys sent me is the first time I understood I should be looking at harvest dates. That was the first piece of really that sort of changed my thought of like, oh. And then after that, I was out at my favorite store, Fiesta Farms, around the corner, and I'm
Good,
like,
good.
I'm turning the bottles around, going, okay, what's the harvest date of this? Half of them don't even have it.
It's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's sad. And if you find an olive oil that has like multiple countries of origin, that's not a good sign. Olive oil is a product that can be made with a lot of love and a lot of care and a lot of passion. And if it's got multiple countries of origin, it's not probably there. Try to find single estate olive oils. Like
Mhm.
these olive oils are produced. So these olive oil geeks that I work with who manage these trees to have the perfect level of humidity in the fruit at the time of harvest, so it doesn't wash the polyphenols away. And we're looking for the perfect maturation rate where it's just past green. So it's a little easier to get off the tree. We use shakers or rakes or combs that are like air operated. Um, and when we gather these in nets, we ship them off to the mills. These guys and ladies have amazing mills. Like these are people who are like, the car people that are in our circle who like love the Ferrari or love the vintage, whatever, because
Yeah,
of the engine. Well, these guys, they geek out on their olive oil equipment. So olive oil, unlike
that
wine,
makes sense.
has 70 additives. You can add 70 additives to wine, at least in the US, and not even declare it on the label, which is crazy to me. But olive oil, there's nothing to hide behind. You have incredible fruit, and then you put it through the milling process. So I'll give you a 1 minute synopsis of what is a milling process. A
Right.
milling process is this. Though it's taken directly a rust from the tree when it's plucked to into a bin off
Okay.
to the mill, which is there on the farm. Within 2 hours, ideally, the olives are washed in nice cold water. We want to chill them down from it. And we usually stop harvesting by noon because we don't want the sun hitting our
Right.
fruit in the afternoon. The cooler we keep it, the less oxidation we have. And then the milling process is this: it's washed, it goes through a machine, kind of like a Cuisinart. That's um, the basically a type of grid or a hammer. It's a type of mill or crusher, we call it. So washed crusher, which is basically like a Cuisinart. And then the third step is kind of like a mixer, like a KitchenAid mixer with a
Right.
dough hook, and it sits in there for about 20 to 30 minutes, and the enzymes inside the fruit, and it's milled and crushed with the pit, the stone, everything in there, the
So
pit, and
hit its
yeah.
crux too.
Correct. There are
Oh wow.
some machines that do, it's called denaturato, where they remove it, but that's super rare and not necessary. It doesn't change the outcome of the oil. And so it sits in this, it could, and if you're trying to extract a lot of oil, it's a double boiler. It's set up like a long, like you would have a mixer with a double boiler under it.
Right.
You can heat the paste and create more olive oil. Of course, we don't do that. We chill the paste. We run cold water through there. So you get all these green aromas and flavors and antioxidants and polyphenols. And then the last stage is it's sent through a centrifuge, which takes that paste. It kind of looks like green tapenade at that point. It
Okay.
divides it into three things. It takes it into the solids, which are the pits, and the water and olive oil. And usually it's about 10 to 15% for a higher quality olive oil, green harvest olive oil. And then that's your oil. That's it. So if any part of that machine is not clean, or there's some, issues, or you add extra heat, or your crusher that you're using is not working properly, or it's holding the paste in there too long and it's emulsifying it. I mean, there's just a million things that can go wrong in a mill that will take an olive oil from like amazing potential, which is like the club's oils, to like, yeah, not so great. So these guys and ladies, they're fanatics about cleanliness, about really getting the essence of the fruit, this amazing fruit that they've plucked off the tree. And really, it's perfect the moment it's picked. Everything we do in the milling process kind of not destroys, but can hurt that. So our goal is to minimize oxidation, minimize heat, minimize light, so that the product we get in our bottle is just as close as possible to what was on that tree. So that's our goal.
The one phrase you see on a lot of olive oils is cold press. Now, I'm assuming this is the milling process. Is that describing what you guys are doing, or is that just so too broad based a term to accurately describe anything? Because right now I'm like, I didn't
Excellent.
hear, first of all, really a press happening. I did hear a cooling after you harvest. I heard like at one stage when you're making the paste,
Yep.
won't let it, heat up. So when someone says cold press, does that actually mean anything?
No, it's complete marketing BS. And
Okay.
in the EU, what is required by law is product of country of origin, superior category of olive oil obtained directly from olives and solely by mechanical means. And what that means is that it's not, there's no heat used in the extraction process. So let's go to using those black olives as an example in Spain. Let's say you want to buy a cheap bottle of olive oil at the grocery store. How is cheap olive oil made? Well, in Spain, they let the olive fruit ripen so much that it falls to the floor,
Geez.
probably in about April. They on a mud and sand, they vacuum it up. So there's zero real, not zero, but very minimal harvest cost because there's no one laying nets and beating it with the bushes and, gathering it into bins. No, and nothing like that. And so anyway, that is then sent to the mill where it is with a dump truck, a massive dump truck, and dumped into these massive hoppers. And there it is put through the process of milling with high heat extraction to get the most oil out, 28% sometimes. And then it is shipped to a refinery, depending on the quality level. Sometimes, if it's like on the edge of being virgin, they can add a little bit of extra virgin to get the labs to look good for that moment so they could sell it. But of course, by the time it's in a bottle and on a shelf in America, it's no longer extra virgin. So anyway, but what happens is they send that off and they refine it using hexane gas and heat. And then it is stripped and it is labeled in our grocery stores here as light olive oil or pure olive oil. So that is just the fat of olive oil. Does not have the antioxidants and polyphenols that you're looking for that are the real health promoters as well. The cool inflammation that are akin to ibuprofen, all that sort of stuff comes from those plant sterols that you get in early harvest fruit in an extra virgin. So I
Uh,
only use extra virgin. Grandmothers and European, everywhere in Europe, you're just going to find one olive oil in the kitchen. You're not going to find multiple olive oils. They just use their extra virgin for everything, even cooking.
I'm very concerned about 90% of the olive oil that I've been eating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? I mean,
Yeah.
look, if it's an area to invest, right? And it's an area. So simply, I know you're a cook. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
And people talk about Mediterranean cooking and how simple it is and how delicious it is. Well, so for example, here in Asheville, where I live, my wife will buy a bag of haricots verts fresh from Trader Joe's. She'll bring them home. She'll steam them, lightly steam them. She'll put them on a plate. She'll put a little good salt on them. We like salt with texture, like a Malden salt or a
Yep.
Redmond's real salt, but like a high quality salt. And then all you have to do is drizzle it with the right olive oil. And it's fire. It's fire. It's 10 out of 10. It's like the best green beans you've ever had because you're leveraging very simple ingredients, but each of those ingredients is like,
We're talking the same
fantastic.
language. Yeah, the same
So
language here.
people don't need to add a million ingredients to things. Simplify your life. I mean, even if
Yeah,
it's,
everything. I look at some people I know like making pizzas on Instagram, and I'm like, dude, what
Don't
two?
don't
That's
get me
it. You got
started.
two ingredients. What are you doing? Stop with all
Don't
the stuff. Just it shouldn't be this many things.
No, no, no. Look, keep your food simple. Like I
No,
love, like even for grilling, which I do a lot of. Like I will rub my proteins with a little bit of olive oil before I grill them because it does help minimize some of the carcinogens. Because I know
no,
I shouldn't be grilling every day. And two, when I take the protein, let's say it's a grilled chicken breast off the stove or off the grill, I place it onto a nice plate, which I will eventually serve it on. I drizzle it with some olive oil and I put a little piece of foil over it and just to lightly tint it. And what happens? Like the olive oil and the juices, in fact, in steaks, it's called a board sauce. There's a fancy
yeah,
term now called
no.
board sauce.
I've never
And so,
smelled it.
anyway, you talk about making a board sauce with you put this on a plate when it comes off the grill, like a bistecca Florentina, a nice charred steak, drizzle it with olive oil on a plate, let it sit there, and then slice your steak. You could add a little herbs if you wanted to get fancy. And then when you serve your slices of steak, just put that board sauce on the steak. You got fire. Like it's just keep things simple, use high quality ingredients and let the ingredients do the work. Fresh olive oil is akin to fresh herbs. Could you imagine going back to a day where you only were allowed to use dried herbs?
This is why I'm so excited for the season that's now just screaming at me. I can already see my sages coming in. Can't wait
Oh,
to go
yes.
my basil plants and my big rosemary plants because it's just I've got 5 months of outdoor cooking up here in Canada ahead of me, and I take advantage of every single day of it. I can't wait.
Well,
I missed those.
I,
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I mean, I have a friend that lives in Kenora, or his fiance lives in Kenora, and he visits a lot. And he loves. They have a beautiful garden, and to me, it's amazing with such a short growing season you guys have in Canada. You can still have really amazing stuff, and like the garden like explodes so quickly. It's just
Yeah,
so
that's a
impressive to
great area.
me.
It's funny. A lot of people don't realize that 50% of Canadians live further south than Portland. When you look at a map, like when you really just draw the map, it just everyone just steers here. It's north. Like Detroit, you got to drive south to get to Windsor. It's our geography is actually pretty messed up. But I get it. It is a short season. But here's the thing too. Like I always say, Canada is like 5 months of summer, and then two like bookended by two really kind of awful wet seasons, and then
Yes.
winter, which is just kind of hell. It's like
Yes,
pretty when
yes,
it's winter
yes,
here,
yes,
it's
yes.
winter. Like it's winter.
Well, I spent a few years ago, I visited Montreal. I've not spent much time in Toronto, actually. I got to go up there and do some eating with you,
Oh
and
no.
cooking, of course. But I spent some time in Montreal, and the food scene there is fantastic. Like I had
It is.
so many good meals, and the
Toronto and
quality of the
Montreal have a sometimes not so friendly rivalry on who's got the best restaurants. And it's Montreal. Montreal just, it's got different culture to it and it's
yeah,
consistent. And
yeah.
Toronto cycles through like the coolest kids in the market and all like, we've got great restaurants, but Montreal's just got it's just got a flair to it that even as from Toronto, I'm not going to deny. It's just got flair. I concede to Montreal. I'm not sure who has the best restaurants. You guys have a, you guys got a great experience. It's just a really fun
They do.
experience eating in
They
Montreal.
do.
Okay, do
They
you
do.
want to walk me through like what should we do some tastings here?
Sure,
Can
sure.
you,
And
can you
most
tell me
people
what to
don't.
look for? What am I actually
Yeah,
tasting?
yeah, absolutely. And most people don't realize you can cook with olive oil. They've been told you cannot cook with olive oil. And
I
I want
cook
to
with all.
myth bust that today because you
Yes.
can cook with olive oil. So one quick tip, I don't know if you do this or not, Jeremy, but what I like to do to keep my olive oil from oxidizing when it's heated, one of my tips is I heat my pan on the stove. I get my pan nice and hot and I then add my olive oil and then I add my food almost immediately. I don't heat the oil in the pan and just let it sit there and get
With the fan.
warm
No,
and
I do the
uh,
same thing. I just slowly bring it up, whether it's like a hex pot or cast iron or stainless steel. It's always a slow rise to the right temperature. I just
yep,
hand above it. Then it's olive oil, steak. Let's go.
you're the man. Because otherwise people say, because they worry about the smoke point of olive oil, and actually olive oil is very stable, extra virgin olive oil, high quality, that's got the antioxidants. Those polyphenols actually protect it while it's being heated. There's a lot of research being done on the polar compounds that are created when olive oil is heated, and it's actually super stable, even more than seed oils. I'll be happy to send you the studies on it. It's really impressive. But you can absolutely cook with olive oil. You can absolutely bake with olive oil. Like if you're just in a, like, one night where we're in a pinch for time, we just got into town late, and my wife is like, we have company coming, our nephews are coming. What are we gonna, put? They want dessert always. So we had a box of Ghirardelli chocolate brownies and mix in the cat pantry. And I'm like, let's pull that out. So she takes that out. She uses olive oil as the, instead of the recommended oil that's
Yeah.
on the back of
Or
Ghirardelli.
yeah, to the butter or lard. Yeah.
Exactly. So she uses some fresh pressed olive oil, about 3/4 a cup or whatever it was. And oh my word, the chocolate brownies of your dreams. And like you could just feel like they were fudgy, they were clean, they were like more, I don't know, they didn't like bog you down. I mean, olive oil has been, this high level of satiety. This is good for our inflammation. It's good for our heart. It's good for our brains. It's good for our gut. It's like, it's got all these health promoting benefits. So sneak it in where you can. If it's in your smoothie, if
I
it's
have
in
a
whatever.
I have a banana bread recipe. It's actually originally from this restaurant called Flour. I'll send it to you. And the fact is a half a cup of olive oil. And it
Love,
is, I've
love it.
tried it. I've subbed in butter. I've subbed in a beef tallow. Nothing compares
Good.
to it with olive oil. I do put
Yeah.
maybe a little butter on the top before I bake or
Yeah, of
warmer,
course. Of
but
course.
it is essentially an olive oil banana bread, and it just blows your mind the first time you have it. It's
I
fantastic.
love it. I love it. And
So
every
you're
once
gonna
in a
have to
while,
pick out which one of these
yes,
I
yes,
use for
exactly.
that.
Let's
Now,
start with the Garcia Molina. So we're going to
okay,
taste two oils today. And before we taste, we're actually going to do a smell test. So I'm going to talk to
okay.
you about how olive oil is
So let me see
certified in
there.
Europe as extra virgin. So we're going to taste the
Here's
green
another
label
one.
first. Yep.
Well,
And then the second one will be the Garcia Torres. So in Italy or in European Union, for an oil to be considered extra virgin, it has to go through two types of tests. And just in my cup here, my tasting cup, I'm pouring about a tablespoon of oil.
okay.
That's what I'm starting with, a tablespoon of each. So I'm pouring them right to left. So we'll just taste or smell. We're not tasting yet. We're only smelling. So in Italy, or in Europe, oils go through two types of testing to be considered extra virgin. One is organoleptic. What is organoleptic? That is a taste and a sensory analysis. We use these types of cups. These are olive oil tasting glasses. These
Okay.
are what we use as a tasting panel. They would have a code on the bottom. We would taste these blind because color is not an indicator of olive oil quality. Although I love a fresh green oil, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It is pleasing for the eye, but it doesn't mean anything about the quality. And so what we do, we put the olive oil in these special glasses that have this curve, and we'll do this with our glasses that we have here in a minute. But what this does, it brings all the defects to the nose. So if things happen during the milling process where things weren't clean, or the olive oil degraded between the time it was picked and when it was pressed, or sent through the mill, or it was stored in a dirty tank, or it was old or rancid or last year's harvest, we will know we know the defects that happen in olive oil: winey, briny, musty, fusty, all these things we learn to identify as professional olive oil tasters, just the same way your brother or brother-in-law knows about wine, and
Yeah.
and has a detector, right? So this panel of team certifies an olive oil. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to actually take the first one, which is the Garcia Molina, and this is what we do. We put it in the palm of our hand, just like
Okay.
this, and we're doing that to warm the oil. And I put my other hand right on top, and I'm
Okay.
trapping all the aromas of the oil. Now, I guarantee you this oil is third party certified by the top lab in Europe. So not only for organoleptic, but through the lab as well, where they actually look at the quality level of the fruit too. and with using analytical equipment. So there's 2 certifications that happen. So I've got a nice warm oil. I'm going to, I love that.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, well, I'm getting like wheatgrass, like
Yeah.
crushed arugula. I'm getting herbs, chopped culinary herbs. Like, this one has that tomato leaf. Think about when you're in the garden.
Wow.
This is early. This is a single variety olive oil from a high altitude grove in the south of Spain. It's Pequal olives. And when Pequal is harvested really green, you get these incredible aromas of crush of like tomato leaf, basil, arugula. So we're just sensing all the aromas. So that's what we're working on right now. We're just having a little moment with the oil because it's
I
just
love
like,
it. I love it.
so while you're smelling it, I'm going to read what my panel said about this oil and see what you get as I read this. I want you to smell this one, the one you have in front of you, the Garcia Molina. This Pequal is intensely green and vibrant on the nose, with aromas of tomato leaf, baby spinach, arugula, and kale, notes of kiwi and lime zest, and hints of basil, rosemary, thyme, and nasturtium. So that's what we got on the nose as a panel. We all just sit around and we kind of like geek out about like, what do you smell? What do you smell? And it's alive. Like you don't have to get everything that I got. You just want to try to identify like, hey, this is a nice green oil. Yeah, I get that tomato. Oh yeah, I
I
smell
really get
grassy.
the tomato leaf. I really pick up that tomato leaf.
I love it. I want you to keep some of this when your plants start growing. I want you to start rubbing those leaves and be like, oh my gosh. And this works so well with tomato dishes. Like, can you imagine with bruschetta or your fresh tomatoes? Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's going to be heaven on earth. Okay. So now we're going to smell the next one because we're not going to mess with our palate. We're going to smell the next one, which is the Garcia Torres. We're going to do a smell test on that and see what aromas we get. I'm going to do the same warming that we did before, which would release positive and negative aromas. And when we score it as a panel, we're looking for defects, which there should be 0 for us, for our club. And 2, we're looking for the aromas of something called fruitiness. Fruitiness can be grassy, can be herbal, can be fruity, can be vegetal, but it should have a nice aroma. It shouldn't smell like plastic, wax, crayons, nothing like that. It should smell alive and fresh, like it's a real fresh product. So this one's it's still got all that green grassiness. It's still got all that stuff going on, but it's a softer, kind of nuttier nose. It's a little deeper, a little darker to
Yeah.
me.
It's almost like a little earthier. This one.
Earthier. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So for this one, I said, and feel free to smell it. I said, what a beautiful nose on this Oji Blanco. It's a single variety olive oil from the south of Spain, from the mountains there. Fresh cut grass, green tomato, a veritable vegetable garden with pronounced notes of celery. That's the aroma I'm getting
That's
there.
it.
Celery,
Celery.
carrot tops, Tuscan kale, and basil, along with the sweetness of fennel seed and Asian pear. So, hey, that's what we got, and everybody kind of has their own thing. But you can see if you put this on a warm dish of anything, it's just going to light up your kitchen. Every time you open a bottle of fresh pressed olive oil from our club, it just like lights up your kitchen. So you're going to be like in olive oil heaven. So now we're actually going to do a taste test. I'm going to go back to Garcia Molina.
Okay.
Sorry to be a little confusing, but
No,
I
no.
wanted to keep your nose really clean for assessing the 2 oils. And we're going to go back and do our little test. We're going to do our nose. Now be careful with this because in Tuscany, they will say it's a 1 cough oil, a 2 cough oil, or a 3 cough oil. So be careful with this. Don't take too much. But we're going to take about a teaspoon of this tablespoon of oil and we're just going to kind of chew on it. That's kind of like the training wheels of olive oil tasting. So all that aroma is coming through, kind of chewing it. You're going to notice right away bitterness. Mm. Green and bitterness. That
Yeah.
bitterness tells you it's from really early harvest fruit. It's giving me that pinch in the back of the throat. I'm going to try not to cough. I'm going to suppress it. And then, so the three things we're looking for, the three identifiers in your olive oil: one, no defects; two, it should be fruity, the things we talked about, all those aromas of grass, herbs, fruit like green banana, kiwi, those sort of things. The next thing we're looking for is bitterness. The tasters will actually score an oil on bitterness, and then lastly, they're going to score on pepperiness. So when my club members ask for the lab report, they get it. It also tracks the polyphenol count. So the polyphenol count on the Garcia Molina is over 401 polyphenol count. And this is fresh. And you can taste those polyphenols. You kind of feel like it's very clean. It's kind of numbing your tongue a little bit. It lingers in a beautiful way. And a lot of that kind of spiciness dissipates or disappears when you put it on food. So don't be afraid of like spicy olive oil. But anyway, what's your impressions? How are you going to use it in the kitchen, Jeremy?
So this, like, the bitterness surprised me. Like that, it's like I wasn't expecting it because it is so sort of floral or like
Mhm.
grassy green.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that just sort of surprised me. But then it finishes, and I had a very sort of a light sensation with it, but you can just feel it just sort of really slowly coming down the back of your throat. And
Mm.
God, this one feels like a bit of a workhorse. Like I can't think of something I wouldn't want to cook with this.
1,000%. I'm
Right?
a Pequal
Like I'm
freak.
thinking,
Like
like
I love it.
I'm grilling some shrimp with this. I'm finishing a steak with this. Um,
Avocado toast. I mean,
Like the avocado
there's
toast for sure. My my one of my favorite breakfasts is just like a piece of sourdough, toasted, little butter, fresh cut tomato, and then just finish it with some olive oil.
yeah,
That with some big flaky sea salt. This feels like right at home on
heavenly,
that.
heavenly,
And that's what you're
heavenly.
gonna see me out there when the sun's up in the morning and the house is quiet and I've got a nice cup of coffee, and that's my favorite
Yes.
breakfast. It's like
Oh,
just
oh,
piece of toast and some sliced tomato.
oh God, that
There's a
sounds
little
amazing. Keep a little of this aside. I mean, my club members go through a bottle a month. So the goal is to use a bottle a month. So I have two sizes to the club. People can join at 500 ml or they can join at the 250 ml. Really depends
yeah.
on how much you cook at home. We take it to restaurants, the small bottles we take to the restaurant because we don't like to have a lot of seed oils and bad vinaigrettes at restaurants. So we ask for extra lemon and we take our own olive oil. Because once you start on the real high quality olive oil, you can't go back to that stuff they try to serve you in restaurants. So
Yeah.
we stay away from that. And also bottled salad dressings and things in your kitchen at home. Most of those are very low quality. They have
Those
sugar, they have stabilizers, bad oils.
those are
Like
banned in
it's
this those are banned in this house. If someone wants a salad dressing, just send me a text. I'll come from wherever I am. I'm making you a salad dressing.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
so easy. And
Yeah.
honestly, I love, one of my hacks, and I don't know if you do this or not, Jeremy, but I like to take, especially in the summer when it's grilling time, I'll take a vinaigrette. I'll use it as a marinade on a piece of fish. I'll grill the fish. I'll pull it off the grill. I'll drizzle a little of my vinaigrette on top. I'll make a salad. I'll use the same vinaigrette throughout the whole dish. And it's just beautiful. It's got garlic, it's got lemon, it's got fresh herbs, it's got fresh olive oil. Like, how could that not just be so flavorful and just
Yeah.
like, layering on the things? But, olive oil is this tool. And so immigrants who wanted all this in their Mediterranean livelihood and their family, their heritage, all that sort of stuff, they took olive cuttings. They cut they buried them in their neckties. They put them in the seams of their clothes. They took their tree cuttings from their grandparents' farms, great grandparents' farms, to the New World because they knew that they were planting grapes there and other things in
Right.
Argentina, California, Australia, New Zealand. Like the largest Greek population outside of Greece is in Melbourne, Australia, believe it or not. Well, the Greeks, they took a lot of olive cuttings from Greece to the New World. And because they needed it for religious ceremonies, for flavor, for health, all that sort of stuff. And so the new world, we get a totally different harvest than the northern hemisphere. So I'm off next week in May, early May. I'm off to Chile for the southern hemisphere harvest, the kickoff of the southern hemisphere. So I'll be there. I'll be working with my farmers. I'll be
You
selecting
got the
fruit from
best
the
you got the
trees.
best job. You got the best job, man.
I invented it. I mean, how could it be a bad job? Like I
That's a
invented
great
it.
job.
And then the oils will fly to America. My club members will have them in their homes in June, and they're going to use them for the next 3 months until they get my Australian shipment in September. And then we go back to the Mediterranean. So 6 months of the year we spend in the Southern Hemisphere. The other 6 we spend in the Mediterranean. It's an opposite harvest. The same reason in the grocery store right now, we're getting, fresh cherries from the Southern Hemisphere or whatever have you. It's the same principle with olives, which are a fruit. So anyway, just remember olive oil should be considered a fruit juice and you want to consume it fresh. And like you said about freshness,
That's such a simple way to help you remember. It's like a fruit juice. The
it's a
fresher the
fruit
better.
juice. The fresher, the better. And we don't settle for old bread and old other ingredients. Why do we want rancid, stale, fraudulent olive oil? I mean, it's just, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. There's so much studies on it out there. So you just have to be an educated, informed buyer. And if you know what to look for, fruitiness, bitterness, spiciness, no defects, really a high quality olive oil. Shop at places where they have high turnover rates of their olive oil. Shop at places where you have an educated person who's there. High turnover, dark glass, harvest dates, all those sort of things. But the number one way is get it in your kitchen. People join my club, they get it in their kitchen. I have 100% money back guarantee. I'm an ex-chef. The proof's in the pudding. I want you to try this in your kitchen. And I want you to taste it just like
I can't wait to talk about the offer because the offer is just outstanding. And I cannot wait to share with the Jeremy Potvin cooking community the offer that you've got for them because it's super exciting. So I'm excited to try this one.
Yes. Which one do you have there now? We got to try the Garcia Torres. See, I get all hyped up. I'm still on the one. So I'm going to have a little sip of water. Yeah. And then I'm going to move on to the Garcia Torres. Let's taste it or smell it first. It's kind of opening up a little bit there. It's opening up a little bit. I love it. It's like, slightly more minerally, like spinach.
I'm not going to cream it yet. I wait till I taste it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like from smelling this, again, I kind of know what I want to cook.
Awesome. All right, let's take a sip and see what we think. This is like a layered, this is like music. This is olive oil music. This is like great classical music. It's like laying on my palate.
This is screaming at me to go down to Hooked and buy as many BC sardines as I can and grill them on the barbecue. And salt, pepper, and this olive oil are all I need.
I love it. I love the simplistic. Sardines are amazing health promoters, have their own amazing fats. Imagine pairing that with this delivery system. Like you add this olive oil to anything you eat, and you're getting a delivery system that's going directly into your cells of like really potent.
This the longer I'm sitting here, it's just like I can feel this kind of going back down my throat. This is incredible. This is really good.
I know. Again, a sauce that Mother Nature made for you, right? Think of it as a sauce. It's not a lubricant. It is a sauce.
That's really good.
All right. So for me, I set up this one, and you can take another little sip while I'm reading this. I said it's exceptionally.
That's my favorite so far.
You're the bold guy. Are you like IPAs? Are you an IPA guy? Do you like bigger beers?
So I'm just going to disappoint you right now. With me and beer, I'm like like bourbons. I'm all day. Bourbons and Canadian whiskeys I'll drink. A beer is just like a delivery vehicle to my next bourbon. Like it's like those are the only 2 beers I drink.
Oh, it's funny. Well, the thing is, so olive oil, these are the bold ones. This would be like for people who like hoppy beer, that sort of thing. This is like the IPA of olive oil, right? So I say this one that we're tasting, the Garcia Torres, if you want to have a little sip, I say it's exceptionally bold on the palate with notes of Belgian endive, baby spinach. I get some of that mineraliness you get from baby spinach and raw artichoke. Asian pear comes through, along with the bitterness of walnut skins and citrus zest. followed by a persistent spicy finish of celery leaves, watercress, definitely watercress, I feel that, and white peppercorns. So I
So
totally geek out
bitterness
on
of
that.
walnut skins, that is a identical parallel. When you said
Love
it,
it,
just,
love it,
it just
love
triggered
it,
my brain. That is
love
exactly what that is.
love it. I said this oil was made for avocado toast, salads of bitter and spicy greens, like arugula with tomatoes, a beef carpaccio, pork tenderloin with a Pedro Jimenez, any kind of game, oily fish such as tuna, mackerel, bluefish, sardines, which you
There we go.
mentioned, and all these oily fish, and anchovies, cherry carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant, hummus. Oh my gosh. You take hummus, you dump some of this olive oil, drizzle some of this on top. You're going to be like, I'm never eating hummus
Oh,
again without fresh olive oil, bar none.
I make
Trust me
fresh
on that.
hummus. Now, yeah, this guy's just lined up to that.
Lentil, like a lentil salad or fresh lentils, the fantastic and other pulses, rustic whole grain breads, yogurt, vanilla ice cream. You put this on vanilla ice cream. Oh my gosh. It tastes like olive
That would be
oil.
good. That would be
Olive
really
oil
good.
gelato. It tastes like olive oil gelato. It's incredible. You can actually do that grilled bread you talked about or toasted bread. You can put a little dark chocolate on it, rub a little dark chocolate bar, and drizzle it with a little olive oil and crispy salt. Call me
Yeah,
about that.
that sounds dangerous. Actually, that sounds like I don't stop eating. That's what that sounds like. Maybe I wait a little bit before I let myself indulge on dark chocolate rub sourdough and Garcia Torres olive oil. That'd be fun. Oh, that sounds good.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, it's fun because you can like even take 3 bowls of plain white beans and try the 3 different oils, put a tablespoon of each, like use the little monkey bowls. I don't know what
Yep.
you guys, this is the little ramekins or whatever, have and do a little tasting with your family, read the pressing report, try the 3 oils on the 3 beans and see what you think. You can read all about my adventures, hanging
Yep.
out with
Got
the
that.
olive oil hunter on the road, and what I'm doing, the people I'm hanging out with, the families behind all these amazing fruits. I get their family recipes. I get invited to be on tasting panels. Actually, the producer of the Garcia Torres, he won Miller of the Year in top Spanish olive oil guide. He won Miller of the Year. Fantastic oil and a fantastic Miller.
Yeah, incredible. I actually just noticed that this thing. Like I just do. Your team said, Jeremy, don't touch this box until you're gonna because they near me, and you're like, this guy's gonna eat it all.
That's right.
And
But recipes like the Basque cheesecake in here is, oh my goodness, amazing. 10 out of 10. Basque cheesecake with
I am
olive
so
oil.
impressed with what
Like,
you have built. This is incredible.
it's
This is
fun.
really
It's
incredible.
fun.
What a journey. Like also, it's not a PDF that you email to your
No,
customer. You
no.
got something tactile.
Yeah.
This is
That's
like
a real,
part of the journey. Like my kitchen is where it's like I try to make it as digital free as possible, other than me having the videos all the time. I get 3 hours a night for myself. I'm cooking. The family can come in and talk to me, or they can go and hang out, or whatever. But this is
love it.
part of the sort of slow adventure that is cooking. That I've
Yes,
got
it
something I
is.
can hold in my hands and really get to know you and the families that you're sort of bringing to us. But what
Yeah,
they're
a
doing
thousand
with
percent.
those little
The
those little
tasting
props.
notes,
Yeah.
yes, they're that panel in the south of Spain, and I get to hang out with them and try oil. So I love to do blind tastings to keep my palate in tune. Like it's like tuning an instrument. It's like
I'm gonna start prompting you and follow you around the world. All these this is you're making good life choices. They're also good
well,
life
I
people.
try, I try. But
This is amazing.
this has been so
Oh,
much fun. Like
here's what
that,
my family's gonna make the best. Like I'm not getting out of here alive. I'm gonna have to make
I love it. I love it.
this is
Well,
fantastic.
have
All right,
have fun,
let's
make it an adventure. These oils are not what you're used to. There is a learning curve to them. Stick with them. It's like using dried herbs and moving to fresh. And first you're like, oh, those are spicy. Those are so, but like, trust me. And use them for a week or so in your kitchen, and you will not go back because you're going to feel the difference. You're going to taste the difference. And when you set your table tonight, just put a bottle of olive oil on the table with your salt and pepper. you're going to start drizzling it over everything. And you're like, what doesn't this improve? Because there are no rules really when it comes to matching olive oil and food. You don't have to follow strict rules. Like, it's like wine. Enjoy what you like. I mean, I'm not strict. If my wife puts something on the table, I drizzle it on it. I'm like, wow, that's a good mat for that. That really works. So, have fun with it. That's the bottom line.
I can't say I'm not going to have anything but flows with this
Good,
club.
good.
So
That's a good,
let's loop in
yes,
all of my community
please.
and share with them the very, very generous offer you and your team put together
Thank you.
for everyone who subscribed to Jeremy Potvin Cooking and follows me on all my different channels.
Awesome.
Let's hear about it.
All right. So you go to getfresh364.com, getfresh364.com.
It's
And
just
there are a
appearing
couple.
on the screen and in the description below as well. So
That's right. And there you can join the club. We have an irresistible offer that will get you one bottle for $1. So I want you to check it out. We have about 100 bottles available for the first group of people that go to that link. This is not available on my website, freshpressoliveoil.com. You have to go to getfresh364.com to get Jeremy's offer. Once those 100 bottles are gone, then we're going to, and those are my last remaining samples that I've held for you and your folks. Once those are gone, then I will be offering a 3 for the price of 2. So you'll get 3 bottles for the price of 2. So either way you join the club, we have an easy get to know offer. You can always cancel at any moment. Jump on it. Hopefully you get the $1 offer because that's just a even easier one. And then if you have any problems or my member services team will be happy to help you in any way. We're really a good guy company. The club's been going about 20 years. We respect and treat our members with the utmost care. And if you have any issues or want to cancel within the first 2 to 3 weeks of receiving the oil, let us know and you will not get the next shipment. So
great.
you'll automatically be canceled. You can cancel on your website, the phone numbers and the URLs on the back of every bottle. So we're really easy to get to that. You can unsubscribe on the website. Like there's no,
This sounds like no risk. They
no
go to
risk.
the link. Oh, again, I'll post the link in the video and I'll post it down in the description.
That's right.
It'll be in the link in bio, it'll be on all my platforms. You go to get a bottle, you get a whole bottle of olive oil for $1.
Yep. That's right.
No obligation, nothing. It's
Full
just
size too. It's not like a little sample bottle, full size.
For $1. You get to try it out, see if we're not crazy. This is something really special. And then you know what? You can join the club or the number I just said, it was on the ball. If you have any questions, you can phone TJ and the team and they'll answer them for you.
Absolutely. And
Pretty great.
we'd love to have you part of the club. I mean, most people that try it love it. And I hope you do too. And that's how, I'm a chef and I believe in people need to love something. And if they love it, then great. The club's not for everyone. It's for people that want to invest in high quality goods. It's for people who understand the value of what they're consuming and the long-term effects of that. And it's people that want to support the kind of project and mission that we have supporting small family agriculture around the world. Planting trees, rehabbing grows, supporting communities. This is what we're doing as a club and with our dollars and how we're voting for that. And that's what I get to do as an olive oil hunter. So I love it. And thank you, so much for giving us the opportunity to share this message and this offer. Getfresh364.com just for your members. And, welcome to the family, I should say, Jeremy.
I'm happy to be here. I am so excited to get cooking later today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go do one of my big long walks to burn off some calories before I get at this. So TJ, thank you so much for joining me and sharing the story, this incredible story.
Awesome.
And again, thank you for this really generous offer for my community. I really appreciate it. This is great.
Beautiful. Until next time, because I want to know what we're cooking and I want to do some cooking with you. So we're going to keep in touch.
I'm going to either stalk you somewhere, but we're doing some cooking together.
Love it. Love it. All right. Take care, my friend. Have a great day. Appreciate you.